What's up guys, it's ALLDAYANTHONY and welcome back to the RSX vlog that you hopefully know and hopefully love. Because in today's video, I find out that Acura parts are weirdly expensive. Let's jump into it. Alright guys, and welcome back to an RSX vlog that you guys are hopefully loving as much as I am making, because in today's video we're going to be installing some OEM goodies that I spent far too much money on. I guess you can say I'm learning the true cost of premium Honda ownership. So let me show you what I picked up. Alright, so if you are a true Acura RSX enthusiast, then you'll know what sitting in front of me costs a pretty penny. Arguably far too much for what they actually are. And yes, they are just floor mats. Just floor mats, but some of the most expensive floor mats in the tuner realm. So these are the Acura RSX Type S OEM floor mats in black. As you can see, I have both fronts here as well as the rear that were brand new from Acura. And these cost an absurd amount of money. I mean, literally a flooring, mouth-dropping amount of money for what these things are. When I checked the prices online, I literally was scratching my head thinking that had to be wrong and that couldn't be right. So I called Acura here locally, and they verified that they're pretty much some of the most expensive floor mats to ever exist, next to the Acura NSX. So the Acura RSX Type S floor mats, these ones specifically, can cost upwards of $500, which, what the hell? Why would you ever pay $500 for floor mats? Well, fortunately I didn't. I found them for cheaper on one of the Acura wholesale websites online, and I paid roughly, I think, like $125 less. It was like 375 bucks, which is still like freaking insane. But that is the cost of Anthony going after that true OEM Plus perfection, because I wanted something new and I wanted something nice. And because my floor mats are already pretty worn after 100 and almost 90,000 miles, I wanted to refresh the interior, and this is just how much they cost. So there's literally no justification for this. They have a nice metal badge here on the back. It's riveted on. There's the OEM little Honda stamp back there, made in Japan. But yeah, absolutely absurd. I couldn't believe I bought these, and yeah, I don't really want to talk about it any more than that. So over here though are another absurdly costing item from Acura, which I ended up buying used, but are still going for far too much for what they are. These are the all-weather Acura RSX mats here in rubber that I ended up buying secondhand from my boy Hector here locally, and he hooked me up with a really good deal. But online, I'm finding that these are going for an insane amount of money as well, like over 200 bucks used, which is like, what the actual hell. So today we're going to be cleaning these up and getting these all refreshed and looking nice, because I have something that already complements these. So this right here is the matching rear all-weather mat for the RSX as well. So these are also going for an absurd amount of money, like literally, I don't know, anywhere from 150 bucks to 400 bucks depending on the condition, which is just stupid. I mean, these RSX parts, especially the OEM stuff, are costing more than some of the rarer parts for Honda Civics from the 90s, which is already insane. So it just kind of goes to show you that down the road, this stuff may even be worth more than it already is, which I literally can't imagine. So I'm trying to scoop up as much of this stuff as I can before they literally go full discontinued, or I'll just never be able to find them again. So anyways, so I picked this up as well just so I could have the matching front and rear. And is it worth it? No, not really. This thing is so freaking thin, it's not even funny. I mean, like literally you could put a staple through the damn thing. I mean, it's super, super thin. But hey, I guess it is what it is, right? The pursuit of OEM Plus is more expensive than I thought. So let's jump over to the next thing that we're installing today. Alright, so what do you guys notice about this area right here? Does that look correct to you? Does that look right to you? Because it's not. Look at this. This window molding right here is down to like literally bare metal all the way through, and that shouldn't be the case. This is actually a window molding that should be rubberized, and as you can see from all of the years, that rubberization has literally just completely fallen off and gone. Now what's funny is that on the Civics, for example, this is a problem that's very common amongst pretty much all Hondas, but on my Civic specifically, I ended up just wrapping over them with some black wrap, specifically in kind of a flat to satin finish to get it to look as OEM as possible. Now this right here is kind of, I wouldn't say it's beyond saving, because I could chip away the rest of this and wrap over that and call it a quick and cheap fix. But again, I've already been kind of spending money, and I'm already trying to do this thing relatively right. So while things were still available, I ended up buying new window moldings for this right here. Now I'm a little stressed to install these, mainly for the fact that I don't want to break these and then drop off the plastic clips down into the door here, where I have to take off the panel to get it out and clean up that. So I want to remove these, you know, nice and clean like, and then I want to replace them and not break them with the brand new OEM ones, which are right over there. So here we are, both the driver's side and passenger side window moldings for the RSX in the original Honda packaging with the OEM part numbers right there. Now these right here, I want to say cost me, I want to say it was like 155 bucks through that same Acura wholesale website, and I had these shipped along with the floor mats, which was again an expensive purchase for what these things are, but I feel like it's going to make a huge difference on the car, because every time I walk up to this thing, the first thing I notice is that weird shiny metal molding. It doesn't look right. And so again, probably could save a ton of money and just replace it with wrap, but I want to do it right, and I want to make this thing be one of the nicest examples of an RSX on YouTube, and I feel like in order to do that, I'm going to have to spend just a little money. The first thing that we're going to do is install the new window moldings, which I think should be relatively easy. All we have to do is remove the old ones here without hopefully breaking anything by rolling this piece right here, lifting up, working your way down, and then sliding it towards the rear and then popping the whole thing off. Now you want to be careful about doing this, mainly for the fact that you don't want to jostle that window. I know there's a lot of RSXs out there that are having issues with the windows coming off the track because there is these two little tabs there at the bottom that can break off if you jostle the window too much. So I don't want to do that. So I want to be nice and careful, take my time, roll these off without breaking anything, and then pull them off and replace them with the new ones. To make things easier, I suppose that you could take the mirror off and you could remove this piece right here, but everybody online is saying you don't need to do that, so I'm just going to do it without doing it. And then from there, we're going to clean up the rubber mats over there, get those into the car. I'm not going to be putting the brand new minty fresh RSX mats in today, mainly for the fact that I have a bunch of stuff to work on inside the car in future videos, and I don't want to scuff them up quite yet. So those will go in a little bit later once things start getting more tidy on the interior, but I definitely want these for the weather coming up here shortly, especially in Idaho. So enough talking, let's get the damn thing done. I'll be damned. There we are, guys. So, didn't break anything. I'm amazed. Look at there. All right, so one down and one to go. So the new one looks absolutely awesome, but I did have to kind of finagle a little bit, because once I got it slid in and started clipping it in from this way and started working my way back, I was noticing that this small kind of rubber lip here that goes on the outside edge of the door was not like even, right? There's like some indentions here that were kind of bothering me. So what I had to do was lift it back up and try to kind of work out that lip all the way to the edge of the door here, just to make sure I had a good seal. But other than that, then I kind of started pushing things down to snap them back in place, and it is locked in and ready to go. Now I'm going to test the window because I did jostle it just a little bit, so I'm hoping that the window didn't like fall off the track or anything like that. So we're going to roll it up, make sure it works, and then we're going to move over to the other side. Now I have a piece of plastic rattling around my door. I thought I had it. That was that last clip. Heard a rattle. Shit. Alright, so because I'm a crazy person and I can't stand the idea of a small piece of plastic rattling around my door, I have created this. A yardstick with some black double-sided VHB tape on it, which will pick up just about anything. So, I'm going to send this thing down there and see if I can pick it up, because I can see it in my sights, but I'm afraid I'll lose it forever unless I don't get it now. So let's try to get this damn thing. Yes! It worked! It worked! There we go. Yeah, that would have... Okay, focus. Yeah, this right here. Holy crap. Amazing! Well, damn it to hell. I installed the trim, and of course I forgot to press record. I hate when this happens, but I got on there perfectly. Like literally first time, slid it in there, started working the clips in. I didn't have to adjust that outside rubber lip at all. It laid perfectly flush, and that's it. So basically, same as the other side, slide it into the cubby, start working the clips from the front to the back there, and drop it down in, and it should sit perfectly flush. So I'm happy. Looks amazing. Looks like how it's supposed to. So with that said, since that's done, we are going to move on to the rubber mats. Alright guys, so I just finished up detailing the all-weather mats here, and they turned out pretty damn good. I simply just rinsed them off, used the Adams Tire and Rubber Cleaner with a stiff bristle brush, agitated them, rinsed them off, and dried them. And here we go. So nice and clean, nice and smooth. The passenger mat, obviously in much better condition than the driver over here, which you can see is just kind of worn here in the middle over the years. But overall, man, I mean, pretty dang good. It's getting harder and harder to find, so I'm happy I at least found some decent ones. So what I'm going to do from here, I'm going to give the existing floor mats just a quick vacuum and then throw these over the top, and I think we should be good to go for today. Alright, so for those of you that are really observant, you'll probably notice that these mats are in fact black and not that dark charcoal color like they're supposed to be, and that's because I dyed them with this stuff right here, this duplicolor vinyl and fabric dye. I did it because they look so hammered that like I figured, you know, why the hell not? I'm buying new ones anyways. So I went through, cleaned them, did a super deep clean on them, pressure washed them, used a lot of all-purpose cleaner, got them as clean as possible and as dry as possible, and then I sprayed them down with this. I used about a half a can and they came out black. I taped off this area right here so I wouldn't have any overspray on the badges, and then went through. So they actually look pretty damn good, I'm not gonna lie. I actually kind of prefer the black over the gray, but I'm not gonna go spray paint the new ones. So they're a little slightly crunchy. It's not perfect, but they're fine. So some of you are probably wondering, Anthony, why the hell are you gonna have so many mats and why aren't you just running the new ones? again, I'm not running the new ones because I'm gonna be in and out of the car pulling things out, and they're probably just gonna get jacked up. So I'm just gonna keep running these for right now, run the rubber mats for probably the winter time, and then come spring, I'll rock the new freshies. So we'll be good to go. So anyways, get these back in the car, throw the rubber mats on, we'll see how they look. Alright guys, and that is a wrap. The window trim is on, the floor mats are cleaned, and this RSX continues to get better and better every video. So taking one last look here at the window trim, this is nice and minty fresh, black how it's supposed to be, and I'll continue to maintain that so it doesn't get as bad as last time, using some nice premium detailing products. And so yeah, I think it'll continue to look good. But my advice is that if you have an RSX and your window trim is already starting to look kind of hammered, probably consider wrapping it while the texture is still relatively even. Throw some matte black wrap over it just to protect it and keep it going for the upcoming years, or else just buy a new set for down the road because they'll probably get discontinued eventually. So pretty happy with how that turned out. The other side as well. And the floor mats, I mean, when the time comes, man, the new ones are going to be really nice to have. But in the meantime, I think these rubber mats will do the job. They look all right. I mean, not as good as the originals, but I mean, at least getting in and out, they'll be easier to clean and whatnot. So yeah, guys, that's going to be it. So OEM stuff is not cheap. That's the conclusion of this video. So try to pick up parts while you can, especially if you're an RSX owner, and get what you can before things get discontinued or prices just continue to hike up. But I think that so far so good for me. And I do have a ton of other OEM parts and boxes that will eventually get installed, but I think in the meantime, we're on the right path and everything's looking good. So I'm excited. I'm excited for more OEM stuff. I'm excited for more aftermarket stuff. I can't wait to dive into the other mods as well, but it's just one step at a time, one video at a time. But if you guys are watching this video and wondering why am I filming the small stuff, the small details, I'm doing it because there's not much else out there, especially quality stuff, and I want to do a good job documenting everything on this car, and so I appreciate all you guys watching. So, as always, if you guys dig the RSX content and want to see more, make sure to give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe down below for more, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. It's ALLDAYANTHONY. Peace.